Hello, it's me again. Just been tinkering in my workshop, pondering how to cut thin strips from thin boards. Last week I made a feather board which improved safety and accuracy when cutting thin strips. And I have also made this thin strip jig a couple of weeks ago. So this week I'm really trying to address the problem of trying to cut a small amount off of a board that's already quite thin. So for instance, if I wanted to make this slightly thinner and run it up the side of the table saw, then I have a problem. I can get to about here okay. I can use this push stick to carry on pushing it, but that has a tendency for it to want to push into the blade, which is going to reduce the accuracy and could be dangerous. And when I get to here, I've got a problem because I can't actually get past here, and if I try to, all I'm going to do is push it into the back of the blade and it's going to kick back. So I can't really see any way of cutting these safely. An option is to take the crown guard off. Now I can push this, push it with my homemade push stick, and it's safer in terms of control of the wood. The problem with that is I don't have the crown guard, which presents two problems really. One is a lot more dust, and the other is obviously I've got an exposed blade. Most of the commercial solutions I've seen, such as the popular micro jig, they require the blade to not have a crown guard on because they go over the workpiece, either pressing down on the piece you're cutting and the offcut so that both move through at the same time, or pressing down on this piece, straddling the blade and being up against the table bed and going through like that. So those options aren't really available to me. Another constraint I have is this is a small table saw. It doesn't actually go that high. Any solution I have that goes higher than the workpiece is reducing an already quite small capacity of the saw. So therefore I want to minimise the height that it has on the overall workpiece.
I start by tidying up some second-hand timber. This is probably the narrowest board I can cut safely at the moment, so it's definitely time to make this jig. These boards will need to be jointed to make a wider board.
Clamped it in all directions to try and make sure that the boards stay nice and straight.
I need some thicker wood to make a handle, so using this offcut of decking, I cut off the grooves with the table saw, making a couple of passes. Then I realise I now have a big bandsaw that would do the job much easier. I've made similar handles before when I made the push blocks for the table saw. I cut out a rough shape on the bandsaw. This handle would turn out almost the same, but I'm not going to make it using the router table this time, roughing it out on the belt sander and spoke shave, then hand sanding. I've marked where the handle will go and pilot some holes in the board. With the screws just protruding from this, I mark where the pilot holes need to go on the handle, then drill these. Finally, I can glue and screw the pieces together. One of the things I love about having a bandsaw is the ability to dimension lumber. Before I had it, I would have been looking about for a bit of 6mm ply. Now I can resaw any suitably sized piece from the scrap bin. I need to put a slot in this piece, so I use my flip-up router table on my workbench. Like most people, I don't have space for a permanent router table, and my homemade one is a really good compromise. Check my channel for videos on all its features, including the novel electrics that automatically control my shop vac. I then cut some M4 bolts to length. I now drill a couple of pilot holes for these bolts and screw them in, leaving them slightly loose.
So where I started this video was to say I had no way of cutting a small amount of, say, a stick like this, because I can't get my push sticks or anything past the blade because of the crown guard. I don't really want to remove the crown guard. So this is my solution. So I've designed this board to be wide enough here to be used either side of the blade, so I can use it with the fence on the left or the right. Now I can adjust the fence to get this how I want it, say there. I can slide this out like so, and that provides purchase for me to cut. Add in the feather board for good measure. I can now put that down and I can cut. Well, I set out wanting to be able to cut thin strips of wood without taking the crown guard off. I made this push block with this finger at the back that can be moved to either side and the right depth for your piece of wood, and in combination with the featherboard which I made last week, I think I've got a good solution and I've achieved what I set out to do. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then please subscribe. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.